Oh yeah, shitty Wii clones, and I can tell you, there are a lot of different ones that we're going to talk about today. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's awesome that you're tuning in. So in this video I want to do more like a quick overview of these weird Wii clones that I've reviewed in the last couple of years. I have found my share of shitty consoles, and therefore I just want to make this compilation in 2021, which version did I found and what are the differences and how shitty are these. I think it's a quite interesting subject because when you're looking at the Nintendo Wii, it was a super popular product here in Europe, especially in the Netherlands where I'm living. Everybody wants to have a Nintendo Switch, so why not make a fake one? And they did, and they were freaking awful already. There was even some familiar shops like The Action that is in a store here in the Netherlands or in Europe that sells all kinds of stuff like basic stuff you need in the kitchen up to retro game systems, and a couple of these systems were even for sale back in the day, and you can see here we're having some differences between the systems, but let's take a close look at the first one. So when you're looking at this box, it says in Dutch language draadloze game console. That means just like a wireless game console. There's wireless, more like the game console is not really wireless, it's the controls of course, so this name doesn't make any sense. And also it comes in German language, so they sell it in different regions. Already mentioned, I'm guessing there was the Action version, so they sold it everywhere with 69 built-in games. And the menu itself was more like this 8-bit game console with a lot of homebrew stuff, and the controls itself make no sense. Let's grab a great example like the diamond, press the start button and let's play it. And here you can see this is more like an Arkanoid clone. Oh man, they love to rip off original games, but this has nothing to do, and I'm just still playing with the game console controller with it because yeah, the Wii control things that were not really working very well doesn't work at all, or there is no motion sensation going on here. So it's a fun game to play, but there's nothing to do with the Wii. And the people who bought one of these consoles back in the day were pretty bummed out because they are expecting a game console that can play more like the Wii motion stuff. That was what the Wii was of course famous about with the Wii Sport game. And this is just an assault to more like the clone consoles and also the Wii systems. So it even comes with the receipt, as you can see over here. So let's see how expensive this thing was. So this thing was 32.95, or let's say 32 euro. That's around 20, let's say 36 bucks. Yeah, 36 bucks around here now when making this video. But so this is what you're going to get: the 2 remotes, a manual, the game console with a cartridge, and a lot of accessories. Kind of weird in my opinion. Okay, so this version 18-in-1 all sports, it's getting closer to, well, not say the Wii original stuff, but it's getting closer to the idea what they were going with the Wii Sports. We're actually having sports games, virtual tennis, Pong, you name it, it's on it. And I can tell you already, these controllers are so freaking horrible. The motion sensor is not working at all, and most of the time you're just going to wiggle around, and sometimes it happens that I'm accidentally hitting the ball. And in the end, it's, yeah, this is what I mean. Yep. Try it again. Ah, here it goes. And it seems to be working. Yep, I'm just wiggling it around. You okay? Here it goes. Yep, I can beat the system. Oh, boy. So, fun fact for a fake system, I have seen some shitty stuff going on, but this is not super bad. So, for the products I'm checking out, this is one of the best ones at this moment. Yep, can wiggle it around. See, this is what I mean. I can just cheat the system. Whee! Alright guys, so let's try this one. The wireless game console, 32-bit CPU core. Oh, they love their 8-bit stuff, or in 16-bit and 32-bit stuff. But okay, interesting game, 11 interesting games and 20 arcade games. So we already know it's more like the 11 games will be more like the Wii ripoff, and 20 games like the arcade ripoff, like the old 8-bit stuff. Inside the box, we're not going to get an actual control like the previous model. We're going to get some attachments, like they were a big fan of these attachment stuff. Yeah, seriously. So if you want to slap somebody with it, it's highly possible you will do that. Okay, the console itself has not a familiar shape. It looks kind of weird. It looks kind of cheap. It needs some batteries. You can use an adapter if you want to. But it's AV out. Yeah, seriously, AV out. It uses a cartridge for the arcade games, and it seems to be there seems to be some built-in games. Okay, so it has the warning like the original Wii, yeah, and if you're going to put the attachment on it, it will be even more horrible. Fun fact that I have seen this menu before, and it's more like the same software that it runs on these mini arcades. So we're having the same stuff like tennis, golf, it doesn't even matter which game you play, in the end you do all the freaking same. Like, that was the fun fact with the original Wii, we having some differences when you're playing golf and tennis. I know I've played the Wii, or I think the Wii Sport was my #1 game that I always played. It was so much fun. So when you're looking at the way everything looks, it looks a little bit better than the previous game I've played. I have fault. Here it goes. Okay, guys. So here it goes. Okay. The wiggle stuff doesn't work anymore. See? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Wiggling. The wiggling works. Yeah. The wiggling works. But I will say that I'm getting the idea that I'm getting a pretty decent response from this thing. Yeah. Got some input lag. Oh, it's so bad. So we're having some more games. Let's see, we're having run, racing, run. Let's try the racing game. So, of course, we're not going to use the motion sensor. Like with the Wii, we're going to get the same, more like a preview, how you need to move, or use the controller. Oh man, this is really bad. And I mean really bad. Oh. It doesn't move. Yeah. No, I didn't. Alright, whatever. Alright, so let's try another game, and this is more like the arcade part that I wanted to show you. So the previous one we are using this motion sensor stuff, but now we're having more like the arcade / puzzle games. Moving the boxes. Kinda interesting game in my opinion. But it's more like, you can see that this system is clearly made only with homebrew games. It didn't rip off an Arkanoid or a Pac-Man or a Dig Dug this time. It just completely made, well, let's say 32-bit, but let's say similar 16-bit games. And when you want to put in a cartridge, this is by the way what happens. So the cartridge is dead, or there is something else wrong. Okay, so for the third system, this brings it to the next shitty level of Wii clones. Yeah, that has, I want to say, nothing to do with the Wii anymore. It's more like they are evolving these systems into something different. They don't want to rip off the Wii anymore. This is the Plus Edition. Yeah, DV Game Plus with 20 built-in games. And I'm very curious, what kind of games are we going to get? Are we going to get a lot of shitty ones? Or is this more like the ripping off original 8-bit games? So let's open it up. I do like the box itself. And I'm so curious, how long did they solve these things, by the way? But this system itself looks kind of interesting. It's more like a plug and play. It's not really more like we're having this system that it's more like having a separate cable. It's a really exactly like a plug and play system, Wii / rip-off. Okay, so this is what you're going to get. We need some batteries, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to get some batteries and just to see how this works. Okay, so the controllers also need batteries. Let's see if there are a couple of them in them. Oh, okay, and it seems to be that there is no leaking batteries inside. Very happy, because that is a really common problem with these old plug and play devices. Okay, so let's open up this one and let's add some batteries and let's boot it up. Virtual Interactive, 2 players, 20 games in one. So this is how it's called. The plug and play Wii device. That's what we're going to call this thing. Alright, so let's see what we're going to get with this. Let's boot it up. Alright, we're going to get this fancy, more like 16-bit menu. Tennis, bowling, baseball, soccer, golf. Of course, they ripped off the same stuff like the Wii. Being creative is something that a lot of these people can be. So, nevertheless, let's try this out. Okay, let's see. Which one was nice? I like the bowling of the Wii, by the way. I played it so much. But let's check the next page, because I'm curious, what are the other games? Come. Let's go. Yep. Man. Ah. Does it work? Okay. Whoa. What the hell just happened? It just rebooted? I don't know what's going on with this system because... Okay, let's try it again. Okay, so it took some time to finally get this thing to work. But okay, so let's play the next. And let's see. Here it is. So, quite interesting. So, more like the let's say the Wii rip-off games, they put it on the front of the first page, and the all the ones are just like all the other games I've seen before, like a different system. Rip-offs from original game. Look at Jewel Master. That would be, I think, a Bejeweled clone. Alright, so let's try it out. I have no idea how this works. Oh, wait, seriously? So we just need to press the 2 button for this is like the NES games that. Yeah, I have no idea what I just did, but it's where you need to press a certain point how much power your ball is going to get. So it's just a complete lie if you ask me. So you need to press the 2 button, or one was it for getting your ball on certain power / distance. We can choose different clubs. Oh man, that is not really the Wii clone that we want to see. Yeah. Okay, so let's try another game. So this is a great example. Look at this. So you need to move with the D-pad. And this is what oh, this is really cheesy. So we're having motion control that is not really a motion control. Maybe we can do something like this. See, doesn't do anything. But of course, a good clone needs to rip off Tetris. Yep. So that's more what you're going to get with this plug-and-play device. Having some rip-off games, I do like Tetris by the way, but you're not going to get a Wii clone for Tetris. And I'm just using, of course, the D-pad and the 1 and 2 buttons for navigating through the game. So I can say another one bites the dust. So this weird plug-and-play device, I must say I give them some credits for how unique it is with the games, because they did not rip off one-on-one something. Yeah, wait, they did. It was the Tetris game they ripped off. Whatever. So let's try another one and let's check out the last one of the 4. But of course, we saved the best for last. And not in a very good way. So we're having here the Super Arcade 110 Spiele. So this is more, again, made for German. Yep, it's made for Germany. Nevertheless, what we're going to get with this one is from the brand Millennium. And the console itself looks similar like the Sega ones I have reviewed from AdGames back in the day. So that makes this thing more like a hybrid. We can play Sega games and we're having a Wii clone. Alright, so that's kind of interesting. So I'm curious what kind of games we're going to get. I see a lot of familiar games that we've seen on the first 2 systems. But even some new games added to it. And we're going to try out the Sega games very briefly. So inside we're going to get the, of course, fake remote that most of the time not working. And a very interesting D-pad. A lot of attachment that we can put above it. Yep, we can basically... yeah, never mind. Okay, so let's grab the other one. It's more the same story. And a lot of attachment like tennis. Yeah, weird stuff, man. And not to forget the console, because this is quite interesting. We can use Sega controllers on this thing. And it makes it even more interesting. So the system, this is something you don't see very often. 2 ports for Sega controllers. And let's see, we're having on and off, menu. And of course we're having the slot for the games itself. On and off switch here. Whoa, that's kind of a huge switch. And on the back we're only going to get AV out, we're having 2 regions and an input for 9 volts. So what is quite interesting that we're having the Fire Core menu like all the AdGames, or really need to point out the old AdGame stuff, that was not that great, but there's something for a different video. And when you're looking at it, we're having all the similar games that we can find on the Wii system like bowling, baseball, It's Time. They call golfing It's Time, Joy of Ping Pong, what a kind of weird names. And of course we're going to get a lot of different rip-offs like Columns, Spider, don't know what it is, and bonus games. So with bonus games it even gets more interesting. When we're booting it up, ta-da, we're going to get the homebrew card that you can see separately on AliExpress, but you're also going to get these games in your new Famicom clones from China nowadays. Okay guys, so for the bowling game, we're going to get exactly the same crap like with the previous model. Yup, exactly the same games, and it doesn't work at all. Seriously, it doesn't work at all. Try to move, you know it, this stuff seems to be working or not. What the hell just happened there? Yeah, okay, you get the point. Another game I just want to give you a quick look, more like this weird 16-bit homebrew games. I really hate these things, but this thing is filled with homebrew games, like all the other one systems. But let's take a close look at the Sega games, but I find it very interesting. What I find interesting that this thing seems to be working with Mega Drive cards. I gonna say you that EverDrives and multi-game cards will not work like it should be, and when you're having the combination card like Sonic 3 with Knuckles, it doesn't do anything. So I just wanted to point it out. It seems to be working, and the emulation is just as shitty like all the other similar clones I've seen. The sound is off and it doesn't work like it should be, but as you can see with the FPS, it works quite well. That's the only positive thing I can think of. Seriously. So even the Sega part of this machine is very limited in many ways. I still like it. So we're having this shitty Wii clone that we can basically play Sega games with. How cool is that? I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Okay guys, so that concludes this overview of 4 different systems. I just wanted to show you what kind of weird stuff they released, and maybe I missed out so many more because I know there are some other weird stuff going on, like fake PlayStation 5s, you name it, with Wii controls. Man, it blows your mind what kind of stuff they are making, and it's just a waste of plastic sometimes. The last one can play Sega games, not perfectly, but it still has some Sega functionalities. That's quite interesting. I want to thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit the bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.